Our episode this week begins with Oscar and Tinasha in their room, where Tinasha is trying to use spirit magic, but is unable to. She tells Oscar that she needs more power to do so. Oscar then asks her when they will hold their wedding, because when he marries her, she will gain the privileges of the royal versus family. Tinasha tells him she is hesitant about marriage. Oscar tells her that he does not intend to keep her hidden and wants everyone to know about their marriage. Tinasha replies that the matter is not important. The scene then shifts to the next morning, where we see Tinasha making tea for Oscar. She asks him if the New Year's festival will be held in the Eastern Temple. Oscar tells her yes, and that it is customary to go on horseback to present himself to the people, which will require many personal guards. Suddenly, a girl named Latola appears and tells them that they have visitors in the tower. Although the tower is closed, the visitors are 5 boys, all under the age of 10. From their conversation, it seems they live in the city of Castle Versailles. The scene then moves to the tower, where we see the boys standing in front of the door trying to open it. Suddenly, Tinasha appears behind them and asks why they came here. She asks the boys Say what he wants from the witch. One of the boys tells her that Say told them that the sky rains ice instead of water in the north, so they decided to go to the tower to ask the witch. Tinasha asks them if they mean snow. Sai replies, yes, snow. He asks if she has heard of it before. Tinasha asks them if they really traveled all that distance for this reason, and that they came without any guards to protect them in case they encountered any demonic spirits or bandits along the way. Sai tells her that His Majesty the King became strong by undertaking various adventures, and they want to become like him. Tinasha approaches him and tells him that His Majesty the King became strong because of the training he underwent before any adventures. She then tells them she will send them back home and uses her magic to open a portal. The children are surprised, and Say asks her if she is the witch. Tinasha then uses her magic again to create a very large green magic circle to use for surveillance. The scene then shifts to Oscar in his room with Tinasha in front of him. She tells him that she will end up understanding everything that happens within the scope of the spell. She then tells him about the children who came to the tower. They are strong and fearless, just like him. Oscar asks her why she is avoiding marrying him. Tinasha approaches him and says, do you remember when I told you that you have magical power? Oscar replies that he forgot to ask her about the details. Tinasha tells him that he possesses a great deal of magic, and if they have a daughter, she will be a very powerful witch. If it's a son, he will also inherit the magic, but he won't be able to use spells as long as he uses Akasha. Oscar asks her if she means that his father knew he possessed magical power. She tells him that the one responsible for sealing his magic was his mother or someone close to her. Oscar asks if having a child with strong magic is a bad thing. She replies yes, especially for a member of the royal family. Tinasha approaches him, and Oscar tells her not to reject the idea of marriage. She has saved many people with her power, and they can teach their child how to use the power very carefully. The scene then shifts to the night, where we see Prince Oscar and Tinasha riding their horses among the people in the city, and the festival ceremonies begin. The festival ends, and while Oscar and Tinasha are returning, something strange happens to Oscar. We see Tinasha saying, let it be known I summon you and control you. Appear before me and obey my will, O lightning. Suddenly, lightning appears in the sky. One of the guards asks what is happening. Oscar tells him that someone might be watching them. Then, the boy Say emerges from behind a tree and apologizes to Oscar, saying he was curious. The other children also come out, and Tinasha tells them to return together. We then see everyone returning with the children. Say asks Tinasha how she knew about them. Tinasha tells him that she monitors everything that happens in the city. Suddenly, it starts raining, and Tinasha uses her magic to create a magical circle above everyone, turning the rain into snow, creating a beautiful scene that astonishes everyone. We then see Oscar standing beside Tinasha on the platform, greeting the people. The children are delighted and cheer for Tinasha, showing their love for her. Oscar then asks Tinasha if she is okay. She tells him she is fine but a bit exhausted. He carries her in his arms, and she tells him that she can walk, but he insists, saying he wants to do it, and also wants to discuss their prolonged marriage issue. She tells him she will think about it. He says she can have her way and mentions that he tried to ask his father about his relationship with his mother. His father told him to do what he wants because he married for personal reasons as well and does not force him to do anything. The scene then shifts to a blonde girl with green eyes who seems evil standing in front of a man. We learn that she is a witch named Leonora. She asks him how Tinasha was. He replies that she was in excellent condition, but her spell seemed a bit different. Leonora says she can't handle her much, but plans to kill her if they find the right opportunity. She mentions that once this little game reaches a suitable climax, they will end it. The scene then shifts to Oscar, who is reading a personal letter. He has received details about the upcoming Foundation Day celebrations in Gendona in 2 weeks. Oscar says he would prefer not to attend the celebrations as he is worried about the problems arising in the eastern city of Yarda. After some thought, he decides to go and will take Tinasha with him, so he won't need many personal guards. He tells her she will wear an official dress to appear before everyone appropriately, but Tinasha tells him she will not appear in public. She will only accompany him to help and protect him from any potential danger. The servant, a young man with beautiful eyes, is surprised and asks her how this is possible, saying, "Isn't everyone assuming that you are His Majesty's fiancé?" Tinasha is surprised and says she forgot about that, apologizing for her foolishness. Oscar reassures her that it's okay, that he's not upset, and that she can do what she wants. He then dons his official attire and tells her that she had gone to the city of Gendona before to help eradicate a great demon. Tinasha approaches him and tells him that if he senses any danger, he should just call her name, and she will be there immediately. She will be hiding from everyone, but he will be able to see her, so he shouldn't worry. The next morning, on Gendona's Foundation Day, while Tinasha is standing, a young man with white hair named Travis approaches her and offers her a drink. She declines, saying she doesn't drink any alcohol as it's completely forbidden. He replies, "Okay, but I haven't seen you in a long time. You've become a wonderful woman. Is this because you found a man?" She responds, "On the contrary, I grew up because of my injuries." He tells her that despite her great power, she still gets injured, remarking that humans are indeed fragile creatures. Looking up, he says, "So that strange man is your dream guy. He's really handsome. If he were a woman, I'd want him for myself." She looks at him and tells him not to say disgusting things like that and asks him what he's doing there. With a smug expression, he replies, "I'm a duke in this country now, and my friends, being a duke is a high rank." Then he says, "You've become fragile. I think I could kill you now with ease." She looks at him and says, "Why don't you try?" At that moment, a very annoyed woman, the girl of Travis's dreams, approaches and scolds him, saying, "Okay, Travis, are you flirting with a woman again? Didn't I tell you not to do that anymore?" He reassures her, "Don't worry, darling. She's one of the Gendona royal family members." The woman greets Tinasha and apologizes for Travis's rude behavior, then introduces herself as Aurelia Canonisha. Tinasha introduces herself, and when Aurelia hears her name, she looks at her fiancé in astonishment and says, Wait, she's the fiancé of the King of Versailles." He smiles and says, "She's an old acquaintance." Then he tells Tinasha, "I'd love to see your child when they're born. I'm very interested in this matter." Tinasha replies, "I'm not planning to do that, which is why I'm hesitant about marriage." Aurelia then asks, "Why, dear? Don't you love children?" Tinasha replies that it's not that. She's afraid her child might be unruly and disobedient. Aurelia says she understands her feelings, acknowledging that it's a strange situation. However, she advises Tinasha to leave the creation to the Creator and put her trust in God, as it's not her place to worry about the future. The future is in God's hands, and only God knows what will happen. After saying this, Aurelia leaves, surprising Tinasha, who finds her words unique and very beautiful. Travis asks her, "How does it feel to get lectured by a girl 400 years younger than you?" Tinasha responds, "She really struck a nerve." The scene then shifts to Oscar and Tinasha. Oscar says, "It seems the Princess of Yarda went missing before she reached the borders of Gendona. There was internal conflict in the royal court, and some are even preparing for war. I believe she has an older brother." Tinasha replies, "I can send one of my spirits to scout the situation if you think it might escalate." Oscar tells her, "We'll wait and see if the situation develops further." Oscar then asks her about the man she was talking to during the ceremony. "I heard he's a duke here, but he looks very strange. Is he human?" Tinasha responds, "I don't think most humans can notice this, but that man is the highest-ranking demon. Have you heard of the Demon King? He is the demon I mentioned and was asked to eradicate in Gendona. He is not interested in witches." At night, Oscar hears a noise and gets up quickly. He sees monsters in the palace and attacks them, shouting, "What's happening?" Arsh replies, "I don't know, they suddenly entered the palace." Then Tinasha arrives, uses her magic, and kills them all. She exits the magic circle outside the palace, following the witch, and restrains her, asking, "Why are you here? Who is your mistress?" Travis appears, and the witch vanishes. Tinasha asks Travis, "Are you trying to start a fight? I was tracking the man who dared to attempt to kill Aurelia. You set up a barrier and had servants watching her." The next morning, an old man says the Prime Minister of Gendona was killed along with other victims. They seem to suspect Tinasha at some point. Oscar tells her that's what you get for acting recklessly. Finish your job if you're going to leave. She tells him she knows who is responsible now. Oscar asks her, "Did you see someone you recognize? Speak clearly if you know who it is." She replies, "No, but I know who the mastermind is. Leonora, the witch who cannot be summoned. If she is the mastermind, it's clear from targeting you and Aurelia. I heard she was treated harshly by Travis in the past. I happened to confront her in a battle once. Maybe I shouldn't have said all those harsh things to her." Oscar responds, "The witch who cannot be summoned holds a personal grudge against you too. I thought witches refused to interfere in the affairs of nations or wars." Tinasha replies, "Travis told me she's in Yarda now and has a good relationship with the prince. Leonora loves lurking in the shadows, building and destroying nations. She has an unusually large number of servants for a witch, making it easy for her to get kings or nobles to carry out her orders. I also heard she once encased an entire castle in amber. That happened before I was born." Oscar says, "There are many silly tales surrounding you witches." Tinasha replies, "Because our lifespans are much longer than yours. But I will go to kill her." Oscar is shocked and refuses, saying, "You are no longer allowed to go alone anymore." Krux informs them, Yarda is the biggest victim in all this internal conflict, a sign that the witch who cannot be summoned is making preparations. The old man asks, will she target Versaces or Gendona next? Why not communicate with the forces opposing the prince? Oscar responds, perhaps that missing princess knows something. This is how today's episode of this anime ends. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to receive all the latest updates.